What happens when truth stands on trial? That may sound like a philosophical question, but nearly 2,000 years ago, it became a historical reality. In one of the most dramatic scenes in human history, Jesus Christ stood before the Roman governor Pontius Pilate. The outcome would change the world forever. The religious leaders had already decided that Jesus needed to die. But there was a problem. They didn't have the authority to carry out an execution under Roman law. So they brought Jesus to Pilate. And notice what happens next. The charges suddenly change. Before the Jewish leaders, Jesus was accused of blasphemy. Before Pilate, he became a political threat. They accuse him of claiming to be a king, a challenge to Caesar himself. Pilate begins questioning Jesus. Are you the king of the Jews? It's a fair question from a Roman governor. After all, Rome crushed revolts without hesitation. But Jesus' answer reveals something extraordinary. My kingdom is not of this world. Jesus wasn't leading a political uprising. He wasn't building an earthly empire. He was announcing a kingdom far greater than Rome, God's eternal kingdom. And Pilate seems to recognize it. Again and again he declares, I find no guilt in him. You think about that. The judge knows the accused is innocent. The evidence is weak. The charges don't hold up. And yet the pressure keeps mounting. The religious leaders stir up the crowd. Political threats are made. Pilate begins to realize that doing the right thing may cost him his position. Then comes one of the most shocking moments in the story. Pilate offers the crowd a choice. Release one, Jesus or Barabbas. One is innocent, the other is a violent criminal. Surely the crowd will choose Jesus, but they don't. They demand the release of Barabbas and cry out, crucify him! The innocent man is condemned. The guilty man walks free. And in that moment, we see a powerful picture of the gospel itself, because that's exactly what Jesus came to do. He would take the place of the guilty. He would bear the punishment that belonged to others. He would suffer so that sinners could be forgiven. Pilate knows Jesus is innocent. His own wife warns him after a troubling dream. His conscience tells him the truth. Yet in the end, he caves to public pressure. Truth stands before him in flesh and blood, and he refuses to follow where the truth leads. It's a warning that still speaks today. Many people admire Jesus, some respect his teachings, others acknowledge his goodness. But the real question is the same one Pilate faced. What will you do with Jesus? The trial before Pilate reveals both the depth of human failure and the greatness of God's grace. Human courts condemn the Son of God, but God's plan was never in danger. Every accusation, every injustice, every step towards the cross was moving history towards redemption. And here's the takeaway. Truth's not determined by the loudest crowd or the strongest political force or the most popular opinion. Truth is found in Jesus Christ. Pilate asked, "What is truth?" while truth itself stood right in front of him. Don't make the same mistake. Have the courage to follow Christ even when the crowd goes the other way. Place your faith in the innocent King who willingly took the place of the guilty. Because through his death and resurrection, Jesus opened the door to forgiveness, freedom, and eternal life. The world put Jesus on trial, but ultimately, every one of us must decide our verdict about him. And that decision changes everything. For more of the biblical history related to this topic, please visit the link in the description, and don't forget to like and subscribe.